Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Emma's vlog, and we had a pretty good week. Now she spent a lot of this week on vacation, so it's not at her home gym. We didn't have all the same equipment, so we program around it. But for max effort upper day, she got 155 on the floor press, which is a PR. It was nice and paused. Good pause work. So what do we do for supplemental work on her bench day? Well, we do pause benching. All right, notice she's got a nice good arch here. And no, she doesn't have a super short range of motion because we don't go real wide. She's kind of a medium grip bencher and doesn't have really short arms. So in spite of that arch, we still have a nice long range of motion. And for people who bring this up, the arching is the correct way to bench press. Anyone who doesn't know this hasn't looked at the research, hasn't looked at what the best experts say, even what certain physical therapists and stuff say about it, that this is the correct way to bench. It is a safe way to bench. You don't lose any pec activation. Arguably, you get more, and it's easier on your shoulders. And no, it doesn't hurt your back. All right, benching too flat back is actually one of the factors, particularly when overuse comes into play, why some people feel the bench is bad for their shoulders. So we do pause benching. We do chin-ups. She does tricep extensions. All right, tricep extension. So why tricep extensions? Because she doesn't bench super wide. And quite frankly, we could use the extra tricep work, all right? Bigger arms. Bigger arms. Most of my lifters do tricep work. I have a few exceptions. And those who don't, we just do some band work and things. All right, she had to use a smooth bar and wasn't allowed to use chalk at this gym, but she still managed to pull 285 on a deficit deadlift, which was, actually kind of a PR for her. It was a PR on the deficit. Now, she pulls 315 conventional normally, but deficits are very, very hard for her. And it makes sense because look at the how much weaker her squat is than her deadlift. Right? She's fairly tall, fairly long legs, a better puller than squatter. So it makes sense that she loses a bit on the deficit. Unlike someone like me who doesn't lose anything. Like a 1-inch deficit doesn't affect my max at all. So again, this comes down to, individual leverages. Then she did split squats with dumbbells because they didn't have a safety bar at this gym. And of course she did back extension. She doesn't have a reverse hyper. So, we just do back extensions there at this gym. Although with her having a glute ham raise, I didn't know we had a glute ham raise. I might have had her try to do some of those. But that could ruin a vacation real quick. You're getting out on boats and stuff. And you get a hamstring cramp. So maybe not ideal if she's not at home. So, again, probably don't want to have her do that. Then, of course, she does good mornings. And we did these with a straight bar because she doesn't have access to her specialty bars like at home. At home, we have two different specialty bars we can work with here. So we make heavy use of those. Right? We make heavy use of those because we have them. Because we have them. All right. So good mornings and all the lower body work went pretty well. We're happy with it. Again, everything that we need. A lot of these are very basic lifts that we do. The other thing to note, of course, with her has been brought up is that we don't do a lot of the classic lifts other than, say, benching. It's not necessary for her because she's an advanced lifter. She knows how to perform the lifts, and we just use supplemental work. And this is commonly how the conjugate system is run. Right? It's commonly how it's run. All right? Unlike some of the 5-3-1 type programming, which is very, very high specificity. Now, for speed bench day, she didn't have what we need, right? She didn't have bands, so she just does 50%. 50% bar weight when she's out of town, which might even be a hair heavy. We might want to consider going a little lighter. But 50% bar weight and just does her speed bench that way. She rotates through them 3 sets of wide, medium, and close. So we get a bit of variation on the speed work. Of course, then she does chins. And since we're already speed benching with a straight bar, we don't usually mess with barbell pressing that day, so I have her do dumbbells most of the time. So she does flat dumbbell presses. All right, we do flat dumbbell presses. And then we do more triceps. We do more triceps. All right. And notice all of our work is very, very pressing focused, And there could be a point where I add more back work for her, but honestly, she doesn't need it because we do upper body twice a week. Unlike some of my like what you guys see me do, for example, I throw it all in on one day, but I only train one day a week. or 3 days a week. So again, we kind of see the programming difference. Emma represents a lot of the programming difference that we see with my clients. And of course, she's got the longest running blog out of anyone on Team Blaha. A lot of people drop out of the blogs themselves, right? They come in and out of the blogs, or they take breaks from coaching or whatever and come back. I have some of the people who vlogged who are back on coaching, who are being coached right now. Two people I can give you examples of would be the younger kid, Jack, and then, of course, Mike, right? They're both current clients. They're just not vlogging. All right, so we're back home. So then we did safety squat bar speed boxes with bands. We did conventional deadlift for speed pulls with bands. Then, of course, she does her split squats, and looks like they're going to be getting a belt squat machine soon, which will be a lot of fun. I think that's going to go really well for her. It's easier to set up. We get all the benefits we really get from a lot of this isolateral leg work, but it's even easier on the back. It puts everything in traction. It's way easier to set up and execute. So what's this day look like? We do split squats, right? We do hanging leg raises for our abs. And we do reverse hypers. And the whole leg raise thing came up. I had a guy try to argue in the comments the other day with mine. This is a hip exercise, not an ab exercise. Well, that's not what the research shows. The reason we like this lift for squats is because it works both. It is a hip flexor exercise. Yes, absolutely, which we need for squatting. But it also is one of the strongest abdominal exercises that we have. If we go off EMG, which isn't always ideal, it actually, in some of the EMG studies, it peaked number 1. Now, that doesn't mean it's really number 1 because it's an EMG, but it tells you the abs are working pretty hard. And if you look at it, it is a full range of motion ab exercise when done correctly. And then, of course, she finishes up with reverse hypers. All right, we finish up with the reverse hypers, which, again, great exercise. I personally feel it's one of the best glute builders out there. Not just about low back, right? It's a phenomenal low back exercise. It helps us recover, helps us prehab, helps us rehab back injuries. But it's also a phenomenal glute exercise, right? I rate it pretty near the top personally, right up there with deep squats. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.